Hey, what's up guys? Kevin here. Welcome to the Snowboard Pro Camp live chat. We'll be on here for the next hour answering all your snowboard questions. And snowboard season is quickly approaching or already here for some of us. So I know a lot of you guys are looking for new snowboard gear. So if you guys have any gear questions, November is gear month. So this is the month where I think most people pick up their snowboard gear. So if you guys have any questions about snowboard gear, definitely hit me up. This is a good time to do it. Myself, I'm still getting a few things. I recently ordered a snowboard jacket, snowboard pants, and new snowboard mitts. So I've got a few things on the way. But yeah, really excited about the season. Also, another thing to tell you guys is that next week, or I guess this Saturday, I'll be driving to Zermatt, Switzerland. So I'll be snowboarding in Zermatt, Switzerland for just over a week. In Europe, a lot of things have been closing. So Austria closed, France is shut, Italy, most of the resorts have closed. A few I think are still open, but we're going back to Zermatt, Switzerland. So some more snowboarding there, and yeah, so that's the plan right now. And I've got a few things behind me. If you guys, I think you guys can see most of it. We've got the Capita Super Doa here. It's been a really fun board. I've actually ridden it quite a lot recently in powder and in the park. Definitely like more of an intermediate to advanced style board. A bit stiffer, but good for park, good for all mountain. So really fun board. Also the Scott Stevens Pro Model board by Capita as well. More like soft, buttery style board. Good for, I think, like jibbing, butter tricks. And then some of my other gear here, got the Union Strata bindings, and it's kind of like a good do everything kind of binding. I'm really stoked on those. I got the my Smith helmet, Anon M4 goggles, my Adidas Samba boots, which have been great boots. They're like a mid flex boot, traditional laces, which I like, and they've just been really comfortable for me. And also my crab grab mitts, which I've had now for over a year. And so the crab grab mitts have definitely been holding up. They've been doing really well. Just like a mid-weight mitt, not too expensive, and they've done the job really well. So some of my gear back there. But yeah, gonna be on here for the next hour answering your guys' questions. So hit me up with questions. I can already see we got over 100 people in the chat. We got 35 likes, a few super chats already as well. So let's go. Let's get into it. Let's see who's got the first question. All right. What's up, Wyatt? Thanks for tuning in, man. Intensely Random TV says, are Burton crash pants worth the extra money, or will a pair of impact shorts from Amazon do the trick? Just for like, what I would do is I would probably get the Burton crash pants. I have those same crash shorts, and I think it's probably worth the extra money because that's like a piece of safety gear that's protecting mostly your tailbone, which is like a common sort of injury for snowboarders, is that we catch our heel edge, we go backwards and hit our tailbones on the snow or maybe on the ice. So crash pants I think are a really good idea. I always wear them when I'm in the terrain park, especially. I have the same Burton ones, and I'm sure that if you got a cheaper pair, they may not protect you in the same way. So I think it's probably worth it to get a legit pair. That's what I did. That's what I have. And yeah, I definitely encourage everyone to wear crash pants or impact shorts. Yeah, one hit on your tailbone and you like never forget it. So it's definitely worth that extra money. I think they're not too expensive too. Like the Burton crash pants, I think are around $100. So I don't know how much money they sell for on Amazon, but $100 isn't too bad. All right. Find Line says, what are your thoughts on the Arbor Eguchi Pro Camber? Good question, man. Yeah, that's a pretty nice board. I've looked at it a bunch of times. I haven't ridden it yet, but I really like the Arbor boards as well. They have the grip tech, extra sort of like along the side cut. You've got two extra or four actually extra like bumps that kind of help to grip in the snow as you ride. So the Arbor grip tech is pretty awesome for helping grip on ice. And then the Eguchi Pro, it's like more of a camber dominant snowboard with a slight taper. I think it's a small taper. So it's like a board for, I think that board for me, if I was gonna take it out, it's for like a day of like hard charging through the snow. So like steep terrain, I think it's probably best in steep like alpine type terrain where you're riding a bit more aggressively with some speed and on stuff that's steeper. Because of the camber, I think like camber in powder doesn't work the best because unless you're going really fast. So if you're going slow, if you're like cruising, then that board is maybe not the best one because it's gonna be more difficult to keep the nose up. So for me, like the Arbor Eguchi Pro Camber is like, it's like an alpine hard charging board, something you could carve with as well because of the camber, the stiffness, and also that grip tech. But yeah, really fun looking board. I hope I get to ride it this season. I'm Zero LGT says, if you could change one thing about the Adidas Sambas, what would you change? Honestly, nothing. I think nothing. I think they're perfect the way they are. There's nothing I would change, to be honest. I like the stiffness. I like the laces. There's no issues with them. Everything about them I like. I think it's all good. All right. Killer Chicken with the first super chat. Thanks for the support. Says, what's your recommended powder board? I say my budget for the board itself is around 500. Also, is it better to get a fishtail? Awesome. I think for 500, that makes it a little bit more tricky because I think all my powder boards are more than 500, but I do think I think if you're looking for like a pure powder board, a fishtail is, oh man, it's just tough because the fishtail, it does help to give you more float, especially with a board that has like a wider nose. The wide nose with the fishtail, it's like a really great combination so that you can cruise and help you to float. I would say get a powder board with a fishtail if you more like cruising through the powder. So go cruising through trees, more mellow terrain, not really like, if you're really interested in surfing on top of the powder, and not being like overly aggressive. Because one thing with a fishtail is that because you have the fishtail, it does give you a little bit less control when you're riding at really high speeds. So if you're more interested in riding powder and like charging hard, like going fast and on steeper terrain, then the Swallowtail is maybe not the best choice. Or compared to if you prefer more surfy style snowboarding in powder through the trees, then yeah, the fishtail is the way to go. And yeah, not too many boards stand out in my head like under $500 with a fishtail. I think the Capita Spring Break Slush Slasher is one that has that. I'm pretty sure it's under 500, so that may be an option to you. But yeah, if there's some around that in that area, and that's the style of riding you like, then definitely go for the fishtail. L Stacker's on here saying cannonball the like button. Thanks, L Stacker. Big shout out to all the moderators on here, everyone, all the OGs that come back, everyone new as well. When you ask your question as well, it'd be amazing to hear where you guys are watching from too. Philippe says, hey Kev, your channel rocks. Awesome. Hey, I weigh 150 pounds and normally ride a 153. What size Orca do you recommend? Good question. Yeah, 150 pounds. Orca, you could probably ride either the 153 or the one, if there's a 149. 150 pounds. Yeah, maybe like the 149 Orca. Either the 149 or the 153. Yeah, it depends on your riding style as well. If you ride with more speed, maybe go for the 53. But in powder, if you like to cruise a bit more and go a bit slower, then maybe the 149. But yeah, good question, man. And yeah, good choice on the Orca. ISO Combos saying, would you recommend the Union Strata or the Contact Pros for someone who rides 99% park? Awesome. Two good bindings to choose from. I would say the Contact Pros if you are more into jibbing, or if you are more into like, if you're just a bit more like beginner intermediate style, then I think the Contact Pros are better. And then I'd go with the Stratas if you are maybe a bit more of an advanced rider, or if you prefer more jumps, if you prefer jumps more, then the Stratas. I think that's what it comes down to. More like jumps first, I'd go with Stratas, Contact Pros maybe if you're more into like boxes and jib features. Just because the Contact Pros are a bit softer and give you that more like surf, looser feel as you're riding through the park, and also like allow you, I think, to get more like work well with a softer board, which is good for jibbing. Wyatt says, are you gonna ride your GNU Headspace this year? Yeah, I may ride it. Yeah, maybe I'll take it up for a day and then compare it to some of the new boards. Yeah, I'm always trying to like get onto new boards to ride and just build my own knowledge and base of boards that I've ridden. But yeah, the Headspace was a great one. I think maybe, yeah, one of my favorites for sure for park. And yeah, maybe I'll ride it a day to like compare it to some of the other boards that I've been riding. But yeah, really fun board. All right. Try to get like a good variety of questions. We try to get a bit of everything for you guys here. Sam with the super chat says, do you know what's up with Ryan Napton? Haven't seen a new vid for 7 months. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too. I went over and checked out Ryan Napton's channel and I saw that he hasn't uploaded a video for a while. I did talk to him back in March, April, like around April time. I think we did like a live like video together, and yeah, I haven't seen him since then, but I hope he starts getting the videos up. Yeah, I don't know what's been going on, but yeah, it'd be great to see some videos from Ryan. Maybe once Breckenridge opens there in Colorado, then maybe we'll start seeing some videos from Ryan. But yeah, maybe I can, I'll try to like reach out to him too and see what his plans are. All right, another super chat from Killer Chicken says, what would you recommend, what would your recommended budget be then for a good Swallowtail powder board? So for a I think the budget is, yeah, between five to $600. I think it's like not, I think you don't have to like spend a lot of money. Like you can get the, some of the more inexpensive ones are amazing too, but I feel like there's not a lot that come in under 500. They're all, I think, just over. So anything between that 5 to 650 range, I think there's a lot of good ones that fall in there. And then what would you recommend? So yeah, I have friends that ride and I've ridden the Jones Storm Chaser before. That's a pretty awesome Swallowtail pow board. Also the Battalion Surfer, that's one that I recently bought. I actually bought it this is actually one way you could do it, is that if there's any boards from last season that you're interested in, a lot of those are on sale. So that's a good way to do it too. So I bought the Battalion Surfer in July, I think, and it was like half price. So that's a good way to do it. So if you're looking for a board I think you can definitely get a 2019 or like last year's model 2020 board for a decent price too. So the Battalion Surfer, Jones Storm Chaser. What else have I ridden? A lot of people have been loving the Karua Shapes snowboard. So the Karua Shapes Dart. I think there's another one. Oh, the Karua Shapes pencil as well. I don't know which one's better for powder, the Dart or the pencil. But yeah, take a look at those Karua Shapes boards as well. But yeah, there's a few there. But definitely, I would take a look at the Battalion Surfer. That's the one that I bought. I'm really excited to ride it, and you could probably find it for less than 500 if you can find a model from last year. Callum is saying Super DOA versus DOA. $400 or so difference in Oz. Oh wow, worth it. I have an Orca 159, Horoscope 155 wide, and prefer the camber length and stiffness of the Orca. Oh wow. Looking for a new twin to upgrade the Horoscope. Awesome. Yeah, if you prefer a stiffer board, then something like the DOA I think is the way to go. I didn't realize that in Australia there's a $400 difference. Wow, that's a lot. I'd probably just go for the regular DOA. Yeah, because I feel like from the Horoscope, which is it's a pretty entry level board, just like got very basic tech in it. Upgrading to the DOA, you're getting a lot of like new tech in there, and yeah, you don't need to go full overboard with the Super DOA. I think from upgrading from the Horoscope, you'll be really happy with the DOA, especially if you prefer like a stiffer board. So yeah, just go for the regular DOA. Especially down in Australia, in Australia I didn't realize the price gap was so big. I don't think the gap in price is as big in North America and Europe. But yeah, that's good to know. I would definitely just go with the regular DOA. I think you'll feel the big upgrade from the Horoscope. James saying, hey Kev, did you see the new Union Kazoo custom atlas that dropped yesterday? I'm waiting for them to be dropped in Australia earlier next year. Do you have any early thoughts? I did see those bindings. Yeah, the art on them looks amazing. I think the art on the new Kazoo board looks awesome as well. And yeah, I'm sure they're an awesome sort of like all mountain powder free ride binding. So the Atlases I've actually got the Atlas. I stole a pair from the Union factory when I was there a few weeks ago. And the year I rode Atlases 2 seasons ago, I really enjoyed them for riding in powder, carving, all that kind of stuff. So I think the Atlases are awesome, and then with that Kazoo graphic on it, it just makes them, I think, that much more special. All right, let's get a few more gear questions. Eddie Jin says, hi Kevin from Los Angeles. Do you like the Union Strata or now Drive for your Orca? I think the Union Strata are probably too soft. So for me, I would definitely ride like a stiffer binding like the Now Drives on like a board like the Orca, something that's made for all mountain riding. And like for me, like I'd predominantly want to ride that board in powder and like with high speeds. So a stiffer binding with the Now Drives or maybe the Union Atlas are bindings I would put on there instead. Union Strata I think are too soft, more like a you can ride them all mountain too, but they're a bit too soft for me. A bit more of a park binding. Fun Cola, what beginner board would you recommend with a budget of $500? Greetings from Toronto, Canada, Ontario, Canada. Awesome. What's up? Yeah, I recently made a video about this, but yeah, the Capita Horoscope is like a good entry level board. It's got a soft flex. It's inexpensive. I think in Canadian dollars, it still comes in under 500, and it's got some rocker towards the tips. And yeah, I got that soft flex, and yeah, just like a great sort of beginner board to get you into it. But like every brand has its like base level boards, and they're all like, yeah, just more inexpensive, because for your first board you don't need a lot of the tech that come into boards later down the road. Stefan says, hey Kevin, I'm moving to Whistler tomorrow. I have the same headspace you have, and I was wondering what your recommendation are for an all mountain powder board. Oh, nice, man. Steven, I would say, yeah, like I've ridden the LibTech Orca the last few seasons, and for me that's been an awesome all mountain powder board, so that's the one I'd recommend. And yeah, last season I rode the Headspace for Park and the Orca for POW, so if you liked my recommendation on the Headspace, then I think you'll like the Orca too, man. And yeah, moving to Whistler tomorrow. That's awesome, exciting, man. Have a good flight tomorrow, and yeah, I'll see you up there. I'm heading back to Whistler. November. I should be in Whistler November 17th. So maybe I'll see you around, Stefan. That's awesome, man. Have a great season, and yeah, good luck in Whistler. It should be a fun journey for you, man. Uh, all right. Dream says, what is the difference between a light board and a heavy board? Good question. So, like, you really do want to get, ideally you want to get the lightest board you can, but with a light board comes some issues. So you could, with like the strength and durability and also stiffness. So the problem is, like, you do want to make the companies, I think, want to make boards as light as possible, but then they can't make them too light, or else they start to, fall apart or just be too flexible. So what makes a board lighter is the type of like materials that go into it. So I think there's certain woods. If the wood core of the snowboard is made with certain woods, it's going to make it lighter. And if you put different woods into the core of a board, it's going to make it heavier. So that's probably the main thing that makes a board lighter or heavier, is the type of wood. And then with the type of wood you put into the board, some woods are stronger and some woods are weaker. So the lighter woods are typically like a bit weaker, and so then you can't just have all lightweight wood in a board, or else they'll snap and your bindings will pull out. So they usually do like a combination, and then depending on the type of riding the board is made for, I think a snowboard will be lighter or heavier. So for park, a lot of park boards are lighter because you need them to be nimble and quick and be able to spin. So that's why sometimes even towards like the tips of the boards, they may make the tips like thinner. So like the core actually gets more thin towards the tips, so that you can spin easier and do presses and all kinds of things. So, and that takes away from the weight as well. Whereas a board that's like made for powder, or made for like say a board that's made for carving or for just like riding the whole mountain, then they're going to be a bit stiffer and a bit heavier, because the woods are going to be stronger. So yeah, it's all like a bit of a compromise. If it's light, it's good for the park, but it may start to make the board a little bit more fragile. And if it's too heavy, then you're going to feel like you're riding a tank. And there's definitely differences between board brands as well. So you can pick up boards in a shop and sometimes feel the difference in the weight. So if you're looking for a park board, maybe pick a few up and then just like feel them out. And I think it's definitely hard, but I think you can tell the difference between some of the brands and the weight. So, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun trying different boards. Some light boards are amazing, and some heavy ones are amazing. It just depends on what you want to go for. Kara with the super chat says, "Hi, as an advanced boarder, what would you say are the cons of using a beginner board? An all-mountain board." Let me read that one more time. "Hi, as an advanced boarder, what would you say are the cons of using a beginner board and all-mountain board?" Okay, so yeah, what are some of the cons of using a beginner board? I think so a beginner board, it's not going to have a lot of like some of the like tech in it to make the board like really like snappy. Like if you're really into for ollies, if you want to have like a tail that has lots of snap, then a beginner board may not have some of the like say like carbon or something that gives it some more pop. So you may be missing some of that. A beginner board is probably also, I guess there's a lot of things as I'm thinking about it, but beginner boards are usually not as aggressive either. They're a bit like more playful to turn. So you're not, as you become a more advanced rider, then a beginner board may feel like too playful and not like stable enough for you because of the camber and rocker combinations. So a beginner board just may feel a bit too playful and not stable. Beginner boards are typically a bit softer as well, which even when you're an advanced rider, sometimes more flexible is better. But if you're looking to ride at higher speeds, being an advanced rider, you may not want the board to be too soft. Yeah, so there's a few things. And any cons about an all mountain board? So an all mountain board, it may be great for the whole mountain, but it may not be good for specific things. So if you want to ride, for example, mostly in the terrain park, then you probably don't want an all mountain board because all mountain boards are made directional. They may be stiffer, they may be heavier, or they may also have just like tech in them that set them up to not be great in the park. Or if you're a beginner, you may not want a really good all mountain board because it may be too aggressive for you. If it's got full camber, it may be too aggressive for a beginner or somebody that just likes to cruise. But yeah, Kara, awesome question. That was a tough one. It took me a while to think of some of that. But yeah, it's tough. There's so many combinations out there of what makes what could be a great board for one person isn't great for someone else. Sawyer says, "How do you feel on Magna traction?" Magna traction is awesome. Yeah, I really like Magna traction. I've had it on last season. My Orca, my powder board and my park board both had Magna traction. And yeah, it gives you a great grip on the ice, great grip on firm snow. So yeah, I really like Magna traction. I think it's great. I think especially if you live like in some of the places where the resorts get more icy, then I recommend it even more for sure. No, it's awesome. All right, and Killer Chicken with another super chat says, "Have you tried the Nitro squash board? I read that it's all mountain powder board. That's a board I have been looking at, but I'll look at other ones you recommend. Thanks for all the advice." Awesome. Yeah, no worries. Thank you. Thanks for the support. I did ride the Nitro squash once, and it didn't really stand out to me, to be honest. Like I rode it, I don't know, nothing. Maybe I need to ride some more, but I did ride it once, and nothing stood out to me too much. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I feel like that's a board like I rode it once and I wasn't feeling it for whatever reason, and yeah, I didn't go back to it. But yeah, sorry, I can't give you more information than that. I don't think. Yeah, I feel like for whatever reason, I wasn't a fan of the Nitro squash. Maybe it was the day I rode it. Maybe it was just my riding that day. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm like thinking back to it, and it was, yeah, what didn't thrill me too much. So for me, yeah, I just passed on the Nitro squash, but yeah, it may be great for someone else. All right, tons of great questions here, guys. Thank you. Jordan says, have you ridden the Vulcom L Gore-Tex pants? I know you've had the 3L, but any idea about the normal, cheaper L? The Vulcom L Gore-Tex pants. Oh, like, yeah, I've had the Vulcom L jacket. I do have, yeah, I've had one. No, I haven't. Maybe I haven't had Vulcom L pants. So I do have these pants, but these are the stretch Gore-Tex. Um, yeah. So I have like the regular black. I think these are the Vulcom like guide pants, and yeah, I think like what you're saying, they're 3L. Um, but I haven't ridden. I've had the Vulcom L jacket, and yeah, I feel like the Gore-Tex pants like L versus 3L. I think they both do like a really good job. I know like when I've had some when I had that Vulcom L jacket, so I've had the jacket and I never got wet wearing it or anything, so I think it holds up really well. Um, but yeah, I don't think I've had like lots of Vulcom pants, but I'm not sure if I've had the L pants, but um, yeah, I think Gore-Tex is good. Gore-Tex is a good way to go. I've been, yeah, wearing dozens of Vulcom Gore-Tex pants, and they've always been great. Bronson says, "Hey, I know goggles tint comes into effect mostly due to weather conditions, but is there one tint that will help more with park?" Um, I don't think so. I don't think so. I feel like, yeah, for me, it's when I'm riding in the park, it's either, yeah, getting the right lens for the right, um, like light conditions. And also, I think with riding in the park, it's always good too to have like as much like vision as you can. So having lots of peripheral and like being able to see up and down lots. If you feel like you're looking through like a tunnel, then that can be bad. I think like for me, park is for riding park, having like a lens actually that like sits closer to your face is actually better as well. My two, probably my two favorite lenses or goggles for the park have been the Oakley Line Miners and then the Anon M4s. Where are they? M4s. But I also have like a larger like head, so they fit really well with my face and with my helmet. Um, but I think the Oakley Line Miners may come in like a smaller size too, and the M4s also come in the M3s, which are smaller too for somebody with not such a big head. So yeah, there's a few options there, but I don't. Yeah, I think it's mostly your like visual for riding in the park and like less about the tint. Marson says, "What do you think about the Vans High Standard Pro Boots 2021? Would you recommend?" Yeah, I love those boots as well. I rode those for a couple seasons, and yeah, they're super comfortable. Really, really just well, for me, they're really comfortable. A softer flex boot. I think they're awesome. Yeah, I think yeah, definitely yeah, try them on first if you can. But yeah, I highly recommend. I think Vans and Adidas have been my two favorite boots. So high standard pros are good. I was gonna buy those boots, but they didn't have my size. But I'm gonna look. And I also didn't buy the Adidas that long ago, so I may hold on to the Adidas a bit longer. But the Vans High Standard Pros may be my next. They may be my next boot. Ryan saying, "Hi Kevin, I didn't find you in Hintertux last week." Oh, Ryan, sorry, man. Yeah, I think I probably left before you got there. Sorry we didn't get to meet, Ryan, but next time. I'm going to Zermatt next on Saturday, so I'll be in Zermatt for just over a week. So maybe I'll see you there, man. Callum with the super chat. Thanks for the support, man. Says, awesome. Cheers to the help. Because the 2021 DOA is on sale. Awesome. Because all the Victorian resorts shut down, so it didn't sell out like normal. Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I guess, yeah, in Australia, you guys get all the new boards before anyone else. And yeah, there's probably tons of deals on in Australia. That's awesome. But yeah, if you can get it on sale, that's perfect. Yeah, I think if you like a stiffer board and something with some more tech in it, then the DOA is a perfect upgrade from the Horoscope. Shred Squad wants to know, are you going to do a gear list soon? I am. I still need to get a couple things. To be honest, it's been hard to buy snowboard gear here in Europe. I've gone to a bunch of different shops, and I feel like maybe I'm just going in too early. I think maybe the snowboard gear comes out a bit later. But yeah, haven't been able to get my jacket, pants, and I think Anon may send me a pair of goggles next week too. So I may be getting some new M4s, and yeah, jacket, pants, and mitts is a few things. But yeah, as soon as I have all my gear together, I'm gonna get up my 2021 gear list. All right, Rife Life says, Kevin, the video you dropped the other day in the open powder field was all-time epic. Awesome, thanks, man. Yeah, that was like such a fun day to ride too. We had like that massive pow field. Not many people going over to it, so like there's a few other people riding there, but it kind of felt like we had this area to ourselves. And yeah, the powder was so much fun, and also getting to fly the drone up there was really fun too. Yeah, it's always tricky like flying drones in the mountains, but yeah, that was really fun to be able to do that. So yeah, thanks for checking out that video. Yeah, it was really fun to like make it and to like get it up for you guys. I was like really happy with it. So yeah, thanks for checking it out. All right, just gonna scroll down a little bit. Sam says, hey man, from Maryland, what is the one piece of often overlooked gear that you have found the most useful and necessary? Your videos are always great. Awesome, thanks Sam. Overlooked piece of gear. What's like a good overlooked piece of gear? Yeah, what was it? I think like, I guess this maybe sounds a bit obvious, but I think like just having like good mittens is sometimes overlooked. The last few years, I've definitely like nailed my mitten choice, and like just having the right mittens to keep your hands warm has been really great. Yeah, the ones behind me back there somewhere, I guess you guys can kind of see the crab grab punch mitt. They've been awesome. Because they're like, for me, it's like, and also knowing like how warm your hands need to be. So for me, my hands like are naturally a little bit warm, so I don't need like the heaviest mitts. So just having like a mid-weight mitten is awesome. So, and when they're comfortable too, if you can find like a really comfortable pair of mittens that just fit your hands well and like aren't too warm or too cold, like just that and sweet spot, because like for years I used to have like cold hands. I'd be wearing gloves and I'd have cold hands all the time. And as soon as I made the switch to mittens, it just like, yeah, one less thing to have to think about while riding. I can just like focus on snowboarding and having fun. And when you're up there and worrying about like your cold hands, it kind of takes away from it. The other thing, actually, one more piece of overlooked gear is getting like a base layer. So that's another thing. I didn't ride with the base layer. Like I think I always wore the base layer like pants, but I didn't wear the base layer like shirt all the time. And now like I 100% always wear a base layer unless it's really warm. But having like a good base layer like also really is a game changer, because then you don't have to worry about being cold. So this year I'm wearing, or the last couple of years, I think I've had like a Burton base layer. Not a ton of companies make base layers, like at least for buying them in the store where I'm at in Whistler. So having like a decent base layer, just like something that you can have on like on most days when it's cold, it just helps to keep you warm. I'll throw in like a third one too, because this is like one that I think is pretty key, is like a mid-layer jacket. So yeah, for days like when it's abnormally cold, having like a mid-layer jacket, just like one of those jackets you see people wearing that are kind of just like they just look like a puffy jacket, and they have like the ribbed lines that go across. Those like jackets that you can just like have in a bag or just wear can make a huge difference on like a cold day. Instead of like putting on more and more layers, just putting like that mid-layer like good jacket on like really helps on colder days. So I think those three things have like helped me to like just stay warmer, and but also like not too warm too, because if you have like really warm mitts and your hands are sweaty, or if your jacket or you're wearing too much and you're getting hot, then that's no fun either. But having like a few of those things that just like help to like keep you comfortable on the mountain are key. So the good mitts, base layer, and a mid-layer jacket, I think those three things have been a game changer for me. Matt Kramer with the super chat. Thanks, Matt. He says Nitro POW versus Jones Storm Chaser and why, or other recommendations. Really looking for a POW specific board for this year to go with my LibTech Skunk Ape. Awesome, Matt. Yeah. Oh man. So Nitro POW versus Jones Storm Chaser and why? I don't know. Those are both, they're both pretty similar. Darn. I honestly, Matt, I can't choose between those two. Like they're both very similar, to be honest. Like I don't know. They're both very similar. So Nitro POW versus Jones Storm Chaser. When I'm thinking back, I've ridden each and they feel like the same. To be honest, they feel very similar. So, man, I can't tell you one way or the other. Based on those two boards, it would either be a coin toss, or for me, like if I wanted a Swallowtail like shorter board like that, I would probably go with the one that I thought looked better. To be honest, because they're very similar, and. For the last couple of years, the Nitro POW series has been looking pretty cool. It's looking pretty like funky with the different colors they have going on. Yeah, I would. I'd go for the POW just for the top sheet, and also like the base like graphic. It looks pretty cool. But that being said, if you like that natural look wood, the Jones Storm Chaser also looks amazing too. But man, riding wise, to me, like they both feel like exactly the same. If anyone on the chat has ridden both and can give some feedback as well, it'd be great to hear. But yeah, Matt Kramer, good choice, man. Brett Kalman with the super chat says, I've been thinking about getting the Burton flight attendant for a good all-mountain freeride board. What do you think of the board? Nice, man. Yeah, the Burton flight attendant. It is that good all-mountain freeride board for sure. The thing I don't like about Burton boards is I'm not a fan of the channel system. I've had myself and friends. I've seen like the bindings move, which I'm not a fan of. But just as a board wise, like yeah, it is a good all mountain board. You can definitely. It's the kind of board. It's not too powder specific, so you can take it into the powder, but you can also ride it like the rest of the resort as well. So if you like that combination of not being a pure powder board, but something that yeah you can take ride it on the groomers and everything, then it's a great one, man. Caitlin saying, Kevin, just wanted to say your videos have been so good lately. Awesome, Caitlin. Yeah, thanks for saying that. The next one I'm working on is with my wife Jill, snowboarding in Hintertux, and she's trying out the Capita Space Metal Fantasy. So I'm excited to get that video up for you guys as well. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, Caitlin West, thanks so much. Philippe says, Kevin, I'm watching from Seattle. My home mountain is Stevens Pass. Questions, do you think there's a big difference between the Strata's orange solid high back with the other colored holy high backs? I don't think so. There's maybe a slight difference, but I haven't been able to test out each one. But I feel like the Flex, I think they've tried to make it the same. So like the same stiffness in the high back. So I'm sure but I haven't personally had a chance to like test that out. So I think it's just like personal preference with like what style you like more. So I'm not sure, but I feel like they're probably the same. Jonathan says, I'm debating between the Anon M4s and the Oakley Line Miner goggles. Which do you prefer? Thanks, man. That's a tough question. So the M4s, for me, the reason I went for them in the first place is that they do have the peripheral is like a bit wider. So for me, like I can see out of them slightly better, like just wide ways. So yeah, that's good. They fit well with my face and my helmet and everything. Yeah, the line miners are just slightly more narrow, but the line miners are also just like a very like big goggle too. It just kind of depends on the size of your face. I think the M4s have a better sunny day lens, so like the dark lens on the M4s are better. You also get two lenses with the M4s, so you get the sunny day lens and the low light lens. But the low light lens on the line miner is I think better. So like the Prism High Pink or the Prism Rose, the more low light lenses on the Oakleys is better. So I think if you're like riding mostly in low light conditions, I'd maybe go for the line miners. But if you're mostly riding when it's sunny, or if you want to just get two lenses and have one low light lens that's not as good, then maybe get the M4s. But yeah, two good ones to choose from there. RJ Teslate with the super chat. Thanks for the support. RJ says, what size is your boot? Do you have boot overhang? Do you use a wide board? No, so my snowboard boots are size 10, and so I can fit on a regular width snowboard. And yeah, my boots, they don't overhang. I don't think, they don't overhang at all. Yeah, I think if you have like larger feet, so if I were to have size 11 feet, then I would maybe be looking at snowboards that are like more of like a mid-wide. So there are a lot of like mid-wide boards out there. Some of the and sometimes they don't even really like advertise it, but if you look at some of the specs, you'll see that some boards are like naturally a bit wider. So those are some mid-wide boards that if you've got size 11 boots, check out mid-wide. And then if you're over 11 or like getting into 12, then you got to start looking at wide boards, and also paying attention to like how wide of a wide board it is, because if your feet are larger than 12, like 12 and a half or 13, then you really have to like make sure you get a wider wide board. But yeah, so there's a whole range in there. I remember my first board I actually ever got was a wide board, and I thought that I needed a wide board, but it turns out that I didn't. Size 10 boots, you're good with just regular. Den says, Kevin, what bindings can you suggest? Union Force or bent metal transfer? I'd say bent metal transfer if you want to ride more park, and if you're more into like butter tricks. And then the Union Force, which are a bit more stiffer binding, I would ride those for like, if you like riding more of like the whole mountain or carving or riding in powder. So yeah, because the Union Forces are stiffer, more like all mountain, bent metal transfer more for park. All right, just gonna catch up with the comments a little bit, guys. Jordan wants to know, Kevin, do you have serious riding sponsors, or is it more YouTube sponsors that just get you some bum gear? Awesome. Either way is amazing. Just wondering. It's like 99.999% just from YouTube, and I sometimes will get like a company will give me something, but normally if I get something from a company, it's something like I already like want. That's something I would buy anyway. I do get companies offering me things sometimes, like through emails or mostly emails, and a lot of times like I won't pursue like a company if I don't like that gear, or if I've tried it and I don't like it. So it's kind of like I guess in terms of like the channel and like recommending things, like even if a company gives me something for free and if I don't like it, then I don't recommend it. And like I wouldn't recommend something that I don't like. And if you guys ever see me in a video and I ride something like only once and then you never see it again, it's probably because like I just don't like that thing that I either bought, or if a company sent it to me and I wanted to try it out. But yeah, actually the best thing I get for free is lift tickets. So sometimes getting free lift tickets is nice. I still have to pay for lift tickets a lot, but yeah, just like going snowboarding and buying lift tickets and trying to ride and make videos every day can get expensive. So if yeah, the free lift tickets definitely help out. But yeah, pretty much 100% of my like actual like money that I pay my rent with and stuff comes from like the live chats or like the YouTube ads. Also, if anyone buys their gear through the links in the description of my video, that also helps. I get like a commission from that too. So all those things help to keep the YouTube channel going. The Snowboard Kid says, what do you think about Nitro boards? Great vids. Also Montana anytime soon. Big Sky is so fun. I'm on the East Coast, so no boarding for another month or two. Nice, man. Yeah, I hope I get it to Montana. I haven't been snowboarding there yet, but I know there's like some hidden gems in Montana. But yeah, Nitro boards have been, I've had a couple Nitro boards, but I really like, yeah, the Nitro POW was really fun. I rode that a few seasons ago, and I have a friend who rides the Nitro T1 in the park and really likes it. So yeah, I think Nitro boards are pretty good. Bartos says, is it worth to choose Vulcom stretch fabric? Maybe. So yeah, the Vulcom, are you talking about the stretch Gortex? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is worth it. So yeah, the stretch Gore-Tex is pretty awesome. When you're riding, to have like that bit of movement, like that bit of extra little stretch, is yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. I would yeah, I definitely recommend it. The last couple things I've bought, I think, have been stretch Gore-Tex, and when I don't get the stretch Gore-Tex, I definitely notice it. And I think I think my jacket and pants for the upcoming season may not be stretch Gore-Tex, so I'll see how that works out. I think they're just regular Gore-Tex, but yeah, I'll see how that goes. But yeah, stretch Gore-Tex is awesome. Christina who says, I'm thinking about getting a new GoPro for snowboarding. Should I get the GoPro 9 or the GoPro Max? Christina, really good question. This is like something I've been thinking about myself, because if you guys have seen some of my videos recently, I think you'll notice that sometimes I'm filming with the GoPro Max and sometimes I'm filming with the GoPro 9. And I feel like it's a tough call, but if I was like a casual filmer, I would probably go for the GoPro Max. Just because, yeah, when you're riding with the GoPro Max, you don't have to worry about where you're pointing the camera. Even if you're filming like your friend, you can still just hold the Max, and if you can ride close to them, and yeah, you can still film because it's filming in 360 degrees. So yeah, I think I like the GoPro Max actually better. Quality wise, the GoPro 9 does 4K, where the GoPro Max, once you like get this part of the screen that you're looking at, it's only in 1080. So that's like one trade-off. And so quality wise, I think the GoPro Max isn't as good as the GoPro 9. But for snowboarding, it's way easier to film with the GoPro Max. Like 100% of the time, you are like getting the exact shot you want, because I guess the one thing to mention is that with the GoPro Max, you do have to like edit your clips a little bit after, like to like watch them. So if you just like, there's a little bit more like post-production stuff you have to do. So with the GoPro 9, if you film something, you can just like put it on your computer and watch it straight away. With the GoPro Max, you have to like put it into the like GoPro Max like editor, and then tell the camera where to look as the video plays. So there's a bit more like post-production work with the GoPro Max, but I think once you like learn that stuff, which I think is pretty simple with, I think you can get like an app for it or like a program, and yeah, you can edit it pretty quickly. So I think, yeah, the GoPro Max, I would recommend going for that one. And I'll probably, with my videos as well, I think I'll probably be using the GoPro Max more and more, just because it's like so like versatile for filming snowboarding with. And then especially when you have like a sunny day, and like when the sun's out and the blue sky with like the snow, I feel like the quality wise, everything looks like just really good with the GoPro Max too. So the GoPro 9 in 4K looks awesome as well, but I think the GoPro Max takes it. So yeah, that's what I'd recommend. All right. Let's get one more question at least. Jumbo says, do you have any advice for keeping your pants in your boots? You don't want to put your pants in your boots. Keep your pants on the outside. It's way more comfortable to have your pants on the outside of your boots. All right. I'm just going to scroll down a bit more. Let's find one more question. Shout out to the moderators. You guys are killing it. Downtown Society says, Kev, do you know where there's a good place to ride in the Toronto area? Wow, that's like pretty specific. I guess when I grew up near Toronto in a city called Oshawa, and I think the best place was like Blue Mountain, um, Mount St. Louis, Moonstone. There's like, yeah, a few places like that. A few like big, like they're called mountains, but they're more like hills. But yeah, a couple places there. Aaron Black with the super chat, just $1 super chat. Yeah, thanks for the support, Aaron. All right, let's get one more question. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Sorry I couldn't get to all the questions, guys. So yeah, if I didn't get to your question, a good way to get your question answered is to just leave a question on one in the comment area of like any video, and I try to answer as many questions on there as possible. So yeah, if I missed your question here, just ask it in the comments after the video on this video or like any other ones, and I try to get to as many as possible. Jordan wants to know, how did you get to Whistler being your home base? Awesome question, Jordan. So yeah, like when I was, I think 21, I finished school, like college, and then I moved to Whistler. I got a job teaching snowboarding, and I just stayed. A lot of like my friends and like people came and went. A lot of people moved there for a year or two. But for me, I just like, yeah, stuck it out, kept working, tried to find other jobs, and then eventually made my way to YouTube. And yeah, Whistler, like a resort town, is can be an expensive place to live, but there's ways to like make it happen and ways to do it. Yeah, you just gotta like move there and then give it a shot, like to Whistler or to any other like resort style town, or just like it doesn't have to be like a resort town. It could just be a town in the mountains, or city in the mountains near like some place to go snowboarding. So I think that's it. You just gotta make the leap. David says, Kevin, what do you think about the Salomon Huck knife for a do-it-all? Having fun on the whole mountain board, as I know you used to ride it. Any other boards in that category you would recommend? I think the Salomon Huck knife is a good do-it-all board if you are sort of in the like intermediate, beginner to intermediate range, because it's like a bit of a softer board. It could be like, but it could be really fun if you're beginner intermediate. But if you're more advanced, it could be too soft. So maybe you look at like a stiffer board, something like the Capita DOA, or yeah, what else? Or if you want that like somewhere in between, like around a Huck knife, but not as stiff as a DOA, something like the GNU Headspace could be like a good sort of like do-it-all style board. But yeah, there's a lot, to be honest, there's a lot out there. But yeah, the Huck knife comes into the Huck knife is great, I think, but if you're more beginner intermediate because of that softer flex. But yeah, the DOA could be one if you're more advanced. Also the Headspace, GNU Headspace. But yeah, there's a few there. Awesome, guys. So just over the 1 hour mark. Thank you guys all for tuning in. And again, yeah, if I missed your question, definitely just leave it for me in the comment area of one of the videos. But yeah, it was awesome talking to you guys. I'll be on here again next week to talk to you guys as well. And yeah, this Saturday I'll be in Zermatt, Switzerland. So there'll be more videos coming to you guys from Switzerland for snowboarding. And also there's still one more video coming from Hintertux, Austria with riding with my wife Jill. So really excited to get that video up for you guys. But yeah, I hope you guys are getting all geared up for the season. I hope you found some of these questions helpful. And yeah, guys, have fun out there snowboarding. And I'll talk to you guys on here again soon. All right, later, guys.